Hey everyone, this is Hannah with the Rocket Miner giving you today's daily video update. As you'll notice, I am back in my apartment. I'm not in the studio at the Rocket Miner office that I've been doing the last few video updates from. And that is because today we found out that one of our Rocket Miner staff members recently came into contact with one of the local confirmed positive cases of COVID-19. So that staff member will be quarantining for a while, and we decided that for the rest of the Rocket Miner staff we would go back to some of the previous levels of distancing that we were doing. We had recently returned and started working in the office again, which is why we had been making videos from our studio setup that we have there. But our office had still been closed to the general public, just out of extra safety and precautions. But because now one of our staff members has been potentially exposed to the virus, we made the decision that we will go back to working remotely from our own homes and apartments. And just to do that, out of extra safety and precaution, we'll be doing extra cleaning and sanitizing of our building. And so for a while you'll be seeing videos from some of our remote locations as we just take this time to be extra careful and to protect our staff and to protect our community. As far as COVID-19 goes in Wyoming as a whole, we have been seeing quite a bit of a spike in the numbers and an increase over this past week. Today, as far as the numbers go, we have 906 confirmed cases of the virus. This is up 22 cases from just yesterday. We have 238 probable cases right now, which is up 8 from yesterday. So this means right now we have a total of 1,144 confirmed and probable cases with 870 recoveries. So that gives us 274 active cases in the state of Wyoming right now. If you want to just look at the lab confirmed cases, that's 232 active cases. Also in Sweetwater County, the Wyoming Department of Health reported that we have 36 confirmed cases, which is one more lab confirmed case than we had yesterday. Today the governor's office also sent out a press release with some updates, and that noted that in the past week Wyoming has seen 124 new cases of COVID-19, a rate more than double that of the first week of June. There has been a particular spike in cases in Uinta County, which now has 87 confirmed cases, also a significant increase since early June. The governor gave a media briefing earlier this week along with Dr. Alexia Harris, and Dr. Harris discussed that spike that we've seen in Uinta County and some of the cases there, and she noted that a lot of those cases from Uinta County were potentially tied to an event where there was some kind of party or social gathering where a lot of people got together and were not taking any precautions or social distancing in any way. And a lot of the new cases we've seen have potentially come from that event. The governor and the Wyoming Department of Health noted that our statewide dashboard has been updated to reflect the increase, with the category of new cases adjusted back from stabilizing to concerning. So that dashboard is what I talked about in one of my recent videos, where they have 6 categories of numbers that we're keeping our eye on as far as how Wyoming is responding to the virus, what the numbers look like, and the things that we have to do to be prepared for increases in numbers. Earlier I had said that all of those categories were stabilizing, and then one was actually put as improving, but now we've taken kind of a step backwards with that category of new cases going back to being concerning because of the spikes and the pretty drastic increases in the numbers that we've seen. But despite the rise in numbers and the fact that we're seeing some spikes now and there's more concern over that, The public health orders that we're under that have eased the restrictions are so far staying the same. And summer restrictions that we've seen are still being loosened even further. The main example of that, and the newest update that we've had, is that the Wyoming Department of Health recently issued updated guidance for long-term care facilities, and they said that they will now permit in-person visitation outdoors under specific guidelines. So this is for nursing homes and places like that. They said that the new guidance requires visits to occur in a designated outdoor space, limits visitors to 2 persons at a time, and requires screening of visitors for symptoms of respiratory illness. A facility staff member trained in patient safety and infection control measures must remain with the resident at all times during the visit. Staff and residents must wear surgical face masks, and visitors are required to wear face coverings. They also said that routine testing of staff and residents at Wyoming long-term care facilities is continuing, with the goal of eventually testing 100% of all staff and residents for COVID-19. The decision to allow visitation rests with individual facilities, which are encouraged to consider local conditions when making visitation determinations. And that's the statement from the Department of Health about these new guidelines. So nursing homes and other long-term care facilities will be able to allow visits outdoors now. Most of them have been doing visits like through a window, either using a cell phone or something like that. But now people will be allowed to visit residents as long as they're outside and they meet these guidelines and take these precautions. This definitely gives more flexibility than a lot of these long-term care facilities have seen. Most of them have been pretty locked down, and obviously that can be really hard for the residents and for the family members. I'm grateful that there have been opportunities to visit like through a window and everything that's been done so far. But obviously this is just going to give a little more freedom and flexibility and opportunity to visit with people, for families and friends to spend a little more time together. Obviously this does allow more options for visits, but lots of the long-term care facilities here have been trying to find other ways to let family and friends see the residents and do special events for them. So we have another event like that coming up. Castle Rock Rehabilitation Center and the VIA in Green River is going to be hosting a Father's Day drive-by parade on Father's Day, which is this coming Sunday. They did this for Mother's Day, and we shared some pictures and video of that. It was a great event. Lots of people came out, decorated their vehicles and made signs, and were able to wave through their windows as they drove past, and all the residents were brought out for that. So they'll be doing that again for Father's Day, just as another kind of big event that lets a lot of people come and see and wave to their family or friends, and just to make Father's Day a special time and have a special event and celebration. So anyone who is interested in being part of that parade can meet in the Green River Ace Hardware parking lot at 1:45 p.m. on Sunday, and then everyone will line up and then drive up and past the facility, and you can wave to the residents and decorate your vehicles, and just to make a nice special day for Father's Day. So with all of these things in mind, with the spike in numbers that we've seen, and also the different health orders and things that people are doing now that we haven't been able to do for a while, I just want to remind everyone to be careful and be smart. The University of Wyoming recently did a survey on the impacts of COVID-19 and people's attitudes towards it and towards the different precautions that people are encouraged to take. This survey found that, as they said, there has been an overall drop in support for following measures recommended to slow the spread of the virus. And you can see that story about the survey in the paper and at rocketminer.com, and it has the specifics of the kinds of questions they asked and the percentages of people's responses. They asked about things like if people were willing to go to public gatherings, if people were still washing their hands more frequently, whether or not people think that the virus was blown out of proportion. So it asked questions like that, and just in general saw this decrease in people who are taking these precautions and following these safety measures. And in some ways I understand that because, and as I've said, I know that Wyoming is opening up more and we have more freedom to do things, and also it's really hard to keep up with trying to wash your hands more frequently, trying to wear a mask when you go out. There's a lot of steps and people get tired and get frustrated of doing that. But I just want to encourage everyone to really be thoughtful and be careful. We are seeing these spikes in the numbers. We are seeing pretty drastic increases in how many active cases we have in our state and in our county. And I do think it's good that we're able to reopen, we're able to start doing things again, but if we're not careful when we do those things, things will just keep getting worse, and the virus will continue to spread and the numbers will continue to go up. So this attitude of just giving up or not caring about these precautions anymore can be really dangerous and could have really bad effects that could set us backwards from where we're at, and we want to be able to keep going forward. And I know that we kind of sound like a broken record over here because I know we keep encouraging you to, wear a mask, wash your hands, follow the guidelines, be careful. But I think it's important to just keep encouraging people to do those things because it makes a difference. And we're seeing some of the negative results of people not doing those things. And I just want everyone to be able to keep moving forward and seeing progress. And if we have to do some of these things like wearing a mask, that's not fun and it's not convenient, but it's better than getting sick, it's better than getting someone else sick, it's better than having to go back to even stricter public health orders. So I just want to encourage everyone to be careful and stay safe and be smart and just be considerate in your actions and in the precautions you take. Think about other people and their safety and security. And we all have to help each other, we all have to keep getting through this together, and I hope that we will. Thank you for listening, keep checking with us for more updates, and have a good day.